because I'd like to know why I'm being put right at the bottom when I've had no help. At this stage, the only thing that's going to help in this situation is respect. Because there hasn't been any, there's a high level of gender-based violence. The low status of vulnerable women and girls, including women with disabilities, older women who struggle to have their voices heard. The impact of social policy changes on women and girls. Pay inequality, lower rates of pay for women than men for similar work. So whatever I did, however these girls that are much more, they're Asian high-quality prostitutes, they have been allowed to copy my work to sustain my ex's sexual desires, and I'm being put to the side, I'm not allowed to be in charge of my own good work, all my creations. I haven't been allowed to access anything that I need. I've been a loving person right throughout, so why would I break down like that all of a sudden? Why? I've been calm my whole life. Why would I break down all of a sudden? The United Nations that say elimination of all forms of discrimination upon women base this on equality, equal opportunity. The actual conditions and lives of women and girls is the truest measure of a reality check whether equality has been achieved. Are we saying in this situation that these snowflake Asians and these snowflake Reuben's girlfriends are more important than my problem in society right now after crime and, this government creating apartheid? Are they more important because of their looks? Because in human rights, sex-based discrimination of any distinction, exclusion or restriction on the basis of person's sex, or accidental discrimination, sex-based discrimination hinders recognition, access, enjoyment, and exercise of women's, girls' social, cultural, political, and economical rights. Obligations. All countries that ratify SEED law are legally bound to fulfill, protect, respect women's and human rights, right? So yesterday, some guy has been using the neighbours to get my phones. He has managed to delete 20 videos of me in the community to prove discrimination. I had footage of me at community law. They will not help me in any which way, which I need a lawyer to go to the Supreme Court because I do not have any rights right now. Do you know what I mean? These people are violently oppressing me with shit and sex, so I can't speak. The humiliation and degradation, is beyond shocking to people. So then it's for me as a victim of that, I cannot access what I need because of this woman's involvement with an organisation that wants her to be in power as a dictator, which is usually a Pinocchio coup, a lying coup, which is a dictatorship where one person starts dictating what the standards are in society and what you should be looking at and idolising. And I think I got villainized for being on the dole, but I had a real need. I was on ACC after sexual shaming, and sexual abuse of filming me nude without my consent. I didn't want that. I didn't consent to that, and I would not do that because I've witnessed somebody in the past being very vindictive, and I learnt very fast, and that's something I'm very upset that this person, it's like the state is actually protecting my abusers in each country, because overseas I witnessed Kylie basically in a huge conversation changing my quality of oil to trash quality and raping me with her mate on a school bus. So if that's the police, they basically deported me for finding out the truth. So basically, what I'm saying is I'm going to put this out here because I'm really worried that this woman, Ruth, is the police and is going to get me killed because I'm speaking out against her abuse. You can't, it says here, it's the state's policy of non-discrimination as well to prohibit all forms of discrimination. Article 3, guarantee the basic human rights and freedoms for all women and girls. I cannot access any way to get a house. Even the church people are sending me videos on the outcast woman at the well. And it's like, why are you sending me that? Oh, I don't know. Yeah, you do know. But nobody tells me. They tell me what they see. They give me proof. I've seen my friend Max and and Stephen get paid a lot of money from Ted. I just want to say, shouldn't the state respond to my disadvantages and accelerate de facto equality of women? I'm actually reading human rights here. That I didn't write this. I'm just relaying it because it is true what's happening to me, and it's hard because when your emotions have been battered, it's very hard to be in a state of logic and rational because you're wounded. And that's the thing, in a civil rights war, you're actually got rules to actually stop and have a ceasefire if somebody's wounded. I just went to the library yesterday and I was treated like a criminal. As soon as I walked in there, I had all these women walk around me, like knowing exactly what I look like, and started to go on all their walkie-talkies about who I am and like to call management. So I'm treated like a criminal and I didn't do anything, and my whole life was about peace. I lived peacefully in the bush. I wanted to create peace in other people's minds, and these people want war, but they're saying to the people, we're in a peaceful community as long as you're hot and socially hot. That's all that matters. But they've basically bled all over my family. What else? So the state hasn't intervened yet. Roles based on stereotypes obligates the state to remove impediments to women's equality based on a negative cultural and traditional attitude and practices. Article 6, trafficking and prostitution. I've been prostituted and trafficked. Political and public life. I didn't want anything in the public, but it is, and they're putting a whole lot of stuff. They're vandalizing my name. Education. I'm fully educated. I have so many skills and I can go to work, but they're just delaying and blocking me. Employment. She's trying to make out that my history of employment's bad, but then copies everything that I do for a job. Health. I used to have very good health and I looked amazing. And now I am very overweight, sick, and the doctors don't ever tell me what's wrong. And I've got definitely, in Sweden they found urine retention, and they won't even do an ultrasound in New Zealand, and they didn't operate on me in Australia. But Sweden was willing to, but I was scared because I ran out of time. So what else does Pacific Women's Watch New Zealand says? That I have a right to economic and social life. I don't have that. I've got a whole bunch of members kicking me out because I'm not working, but how can I even get back on the saddle if you're all just discriminating and mocking and ridiculing me? And I think the law did that. The law started this apartheid, which is a definite war crime. So is that New Zealand? Is that on New Zealand's back, or is that a worldwide thing? Or so anyway, if you've witnessed any of this discrimination, because I'm the one that needs urgent attention right now. I'm very sick, and I need a holistic healer because I can't, but anything that I'm interested in. Look, people are in denial that I am. What are people in denial about my worth? What about if I did work on my self-worth and it
came from moving my body and having independence. Since they've taken my independence and called me a dog, that's not a breeding ground for me having self-worth. My behavior is what? What about your behavior? You're not giving me my needs. This is really abusing my rights to deny that, and also denying me help. You're like denying that my real nature is loving and caring because everyone says I'm cold and calculating, but why did they write that all on the internet? You changed my mum's mind, but my mum's reading that, but does she actually remember that I always clean her car all the time, like every second week? What about all the times I'm mopping the house, all the times I'm making her a cup of tea? Do you think I'm doing that because I'm an asshole? I'm in distress. I'm not mentally ill. I'm tired. I'm sick. I can't be at peace because my body is in pain. My kidneys are in pain. My vagina's in excruciating pain. My stomach's in excruciating pain. And you're asleep because underneath you're saying that I'm trash. But I don't have needs. If I could get back on the horse and support myself to look after my face, then I would feel better. But you're not letting me. You're making me be trashed after physical violence and denying me what I need. My basic need is to have help and support after physical violence. Why is it almost 3 or 4 years? And that's what I can't handle anymore. So I've gone through all the stress. You won't let me belong or be part of society. You've got all these stories about me, like I never fit in and I'm not social. Says who, Leanne? So why do I have all these friends that she's all leeching onto, like Fiola and Sandra and Lucy? Does Lucy really think that I was like a recluse my whole life? Does she? Why was I always out with her all the time? I'm depressed because I need my mother. I need people that know me. You won't let me be around anyone that knows me, and I've got all this problem in my blood, all this problem in my stomach. You're denying that I achieved anything. I just want to know, why did you copy everything that I do, but then you sit there like, we deny that you're an achiever. So why do you keep taking away my tools to achieve anything? This is what's happened to me. My esteem needs aren't respected, or, and you're making me bullied all over the country. If that's not met, developing feelings of inferiority, weakness, and worthlessness. This is how I feel all the time because of what you're doing. I just feel like it's so abused. I can't get into my potential without the fulfillment. So the whole time they framed me as lying about having a disability, but the whole time she's taking credit for my creative work. So why are government officials allowed to take credit for my creative work, like my photography, but start this fucking massive witch hunt that I'm low quality oil and that I'm trash and I'm just a dough-bludger? So you're just a big bully in the government, stealing people's photography, are you? Stealing people's psalms and their work to do with this, are you? Like, you keep going on, I'm a man. What do you mean? It's like, in my relationships, I wasn't a man. I don't understand why you're comparing me after you just destroyed my stomach. It's not fair. It's like everybody else gets to look good and feel good and be independent and have their money, but you're cutting me off and it's making me feel very violent. Like, because you're not giving me what I need. I need more than just a fucking shelter where you're abusing me as a dog every day.